everybody, Alphonse here, and welcome to another edition of 21 Questions. This is a weekly podcast in which I answer 21 questions based on a certain theme within the confines of my car. So, let's get started. Today's theme is travel, because I am incredibly grateful that I have a family that loves travel and has been able to go around the world, to many parts of the world at least. And so as a result, I have a lot of cool things about that. So let's get started. Question 1. How many states have you visited in your lifetime? Okay, I don't know if visited means like actually intentionally gone to a location of, or just passed by. Because in terms of actually intentionally going to this place, I've been to Florida, I've been to California, I've been to Maryland, I've been to Virginia, I've been to Minnesota, and there's a bunch of other places that I don't know on the top of my head, but it's over a handful that I've actually gone to. In terms of passing by, I know that a lot of my state travels have been the result of road trips, and so as a result, we pass by a bunch of states on the way to our destinations. So the number of states that I've just passed by must be over 2 handfuls. Probably over a dozen. Yeah, I can't name place on top of my head. But yeah, I've gone to a lot of states, which is pretty nice. Question 2. Which of these states is your favorite? I would say my favorite state of the ones I visited, honestly, Florida. Can never really go wrong with the theme parks in Florida. Walt Disney World's banging. Universal and Islands of Adventure have their perks too. Yeah. So, I'll have to say Florida. Again, to be honest, most of my more enthralling experiences traveling have been out of the country rather than within the country. But states got their perks, particularly Florida has its perks. So, Florida. Question 3. How many countries have you visited in your lifetime? Well, I have been to, let's actually count them off right now. I've been to Mexico for Cancun. I've been to Canada when I was particularly young. I've been to Italy. I've been to England. I've been to France. I've been to Spain. I've been to Austria. I've been to Germany. Only Munich in Germany. I've been to the Czech Republic for Prague, Hungary, Croatia, Greece, Serbia. Yeah, wow, it's almost 3 handfuls. Yeah, I've done a lot of country traveling. It's pretty impressive, and all the places I've been to, regardless of how much I liked them or not, always offered an interesting thing to look forward to. Question 4. Which of these countries was your favorite? Gotta say by far Italy. First country, it's actually not the first out of country trip I've made with family. That was to Canada. No, not Canada. It's been to the Philippines. Duh. Because I'm Filipino. Anyway, Italy definitely I appreciated a ton because, one, quite simply, food was cool. I'm a big fan of pasta and pizza and a bunch of other foods that Italian food is. So, yeah, that I enjoyed. Food's pretty simple, but I guess the most important thing is that there are just so many fascinating and beautiful locales. Like things that stuck on the top of my head were Rome, Florence, Venice, and by far, it wasn't my overall favorite place I've ever been to, but it's really admirable for the transformative aspect of how I experienced it, the Amalfi Coast. To just briefly summarize, we've used car to get from the mainland area, inland area I guess, into the Amalfi Coast. So we went through. So we were basically in like these regular like hilly grasslands, and we went through a tunnel. And all of a sudden, to get to the other side of the tunnel, you just are suddenly on like a cliffside, and oh man, it looks super cool. So yeah, Italy was great and is a must-see if you ever have any aspirations to travel. So get on that at some point in your life. Question 5. What is the next place on your travel bucket list? Japan is definitely a place that fascinates me a lot, just because it has a mix of cool city looks and a lot of cool cultural places. So I just imagine it'd be cool. I imagine that there will be a degree of cultural weirdness to kind of get acclimated to. I feel like I'll have to find some way to get used to how things are over there before I actually travel, maybe. I don't know, but I just imagine that being able to go to Japan at some point would be awesome. Plus, as a Pokemon fan, I'd be able to get that more exclusive Pokemon merch. So that has me stoked. So yeah, Japan's a big one. The Galapagos Islands honestly would be pretty neat too. I was a pretty big animal buff when I was younger, particularly for reptiles. And the Galapagos Islands have a lot of cool reptiles, like tortoises and iguanas. So I'd want to see that at some point. We'll just leave it at that for now. Question 6, coldest place I've been to. This would be at the top of a mountain bordering, I feel like saying Austria. Austria is part of the border. I forget what other countries are bordering this mountain, but it's called Zugspitze. I'm not going to spell it because I don't know how to spell it, but that would probably be the coldest place I've been to. Yeah, no, Zugspitze. Because I'm about to say that Minneapolis is pretty cold, but yeah, cold winds do not compare to a top of a mountain. So, question 7, hottest place you've ever been to? Ooh, jeez, hottest place I've been to. Honestly, probably just in general, the Philippines. Just rarely ever a time when it ever actually felt just a nice temperate weather. Yeah, nature of a tropical island, you know. So we'll just say the Philippines. 8, most breathtaking view you've ever seen. Oh jeez, there's so much. I have a soft spot for a lot of the views from the top of buildings that I've been to. Like I've seen Rome from the top of St. Peter's Basilica. I've seen Paris from the top of the Eiffel Tower, but the most breathtaking view, oh, it's so difficult. Oh, geez, because there's so much pretty stuff I've been able to experience. I think, the one that honestly sticks to me the most is there is a place in the Philippines called Palawan, and it's a beach area. I'm usually not a big fan of beaches, but Palawan definitely helped by having some amazing views of mountains right next to our resort that we had by the beach. So Palawan definitely sticks with me just because it's one of the few beach areas that I actually like. So something that can be an exception to what I dislike is always worthy of respect, in my opinion. Question 9. Which of the places you visited do you find most interesting? Oh, this one has by far been Dubrovnik, especially the Old Town area in Dubrovnik. Dubrovnik, in case you're wondering, is in Croatia, but the cool thing about the Old Town is that the moment you step inside the walls, you're suddenly teleported to an ancient time. Not ancient, more medieval. But the idea that you just walk back to a time when you would have just been like a villager in this very rustic setting. I don't know. It was so cool being able to experience. Plus, the old town is right next to a coast. Like, it has a port. And with the mountains surrounding the waters, it honestly reminded me of Arendelle from Frozen. It was really cool. Dubrovnik holds a special place in my heart, and it was super neat. I tried doing some creative stuff as hobbies, like writing and all that, and it's definitely gotten my creative juices flowing a bunch. So, yeah, Dubrovnik, old town, most interesting place. Question 10, furthest you've ever walked. Ooh, I do a lot of walking on my trips, especially to other countries. Oh man. The longest walk they can think of right now, although I'm sure there's some other walks that take the cake, was the walk to the Parthenon in Athens. To be quite frank, the Parthenon is the only thing worth it about Athens. None of the other things in the city really appealed to me personally, but Parthenon is completely worth it. So it was a really long walk. But I can't say for certain if that was the longest. It's just the longest that it can recall to mind most easily. Because I've walked great distances across cities. I've walked great distances up a lot of places. Yeah, I've done a lot of walking, and it feels awesome. So yeah. Question 11, longest car trip. It's either the car trip it takes to get to Florida, or the car trip it takes to get to the Midwest. Yeah, I'd say those. Those are the only places where I've taken particularly long road trips. So yeah, that's that. Question 12, longest train ride. Oh man, I know I've been on trains. I can say that for certain. But I forget just how long. Oh, I actually do forget how long the longest one. But oh, jeez, man, oh, my memory's failing me really badly. Train rides don't feel that memorable to me. I mean, I remember that like my ears will pop. I'll have to chew some gum. Only time I actually chew gum, whether if I'm on a plane or a train. Fun fact. Yeah, oh geez, yeah, I don't know. Good question. Yeah, sorry if you're disappointed that you don't have a more concrete answer. I don't know. Trains aren't the highlight of my trips, I suppose. So that's how I feel about that. Question 13, longest boat ride. Oh geez, man, it's kind of frustrating that I don't have any, like I don't memorize lengths of these trips. I've had a boat ride for a couple hours. I believe it was from Santorini to Mykonos. That was a long one. Oh, again, I can't tell if it was the longest, but that was also memorable for being very much a mess. So yeah, just watch out if you take boats from Santorini to Mykonos. Question 14, longest plane ride. Ooh, yes. Now this one I can answer. Definitely over a day. Felix saying it must have been from Newark to someplace. Dang. It's definitely to one of one of the European countries that I've been to. Because those tend to be long. So, yeah. Question 15, favorite mode of transportation. Honestly, planes. Planes are a lot of fun, especially when you're on the longer rides. You get to have access to all the entertainment. So for me, it means being able to watch a bunch of cool movies and TV shows. So I like airplanes for that. So yeah, airplanes. Plus I've been on airplanes so much. I've become used to being on planes. That's how much I've been on them. Ooh, I personally feel kind of weird about it, but hey, it's how it is, I suppose. Question 16. How do you pass time while traveling? Obviously, the best way to pass time is just to look around, take in the sights, because you have to realize that you won't be able to visit these places for a while after the first time. So that is the first way. The second way is to also be on my phone, not for a long period of time, at least not enough that I feel taken away from the experience, but if I'm like truly bored, then I'll be on my phone. But honestly, for the most part, it really is just about looking around, taking the sights, maybe even thinking about things related to the place, kind of imagining, I don't know, fictional settings that are inspired by the places you travel to, and I don't know, a bunch of potential for fun jazz. Question 17, got any good card games? My sister's pretty fond of the whole like I Spy something, I'm a bobber. I'm personally not the biggest fan of those games, but they're serviceable, so that works. One game that I haven't done too much of, but I always find it fun to do, is when you can go, there's that app, I forget what the app is called, but it's where like one person holds the phone on their forehead and the others like see what word is on the phone and they try doing actions, kind of like charades. Oh, but I forgot what the app name is. It's really cool though. So yeah, I haven't played enough games in the car to have fun with that. Question 18, can you read while moving to get without getting a headache? Yes I can, and it feels pretty good. So yeah, that's always a fun one to be able to do. Question 19, can you sing 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton? I actually do like this song a lot, but the parts I memorize the most are just the chorus. So I'll sing that. If I could fall into the sky, do you think time could pass me by? 'Cause you know I'd walk 1,000 miles if I could just see you tonight. Yeah, if you guys, actually, you know what? Comment down in the comments if you want me to do a cover of 1,000 Miles and post it on the SoundCloud, on the Silver and Scarlet SoundCloud. Let me know that, because I could do it if enough people would like it. Question 20, most interesting food I've had while traveling. Well, I have to say, I'm mildly picky and overall safe eater while I travel, but the most interesting item would have to be, let's go with schnitzel. Yeah, I'll go with schnitzel. Schnitzel's pretty nice, and it's not something I have too often, yet it's pretty neat. So yeah, schnitzel. And finally, question 21, scariest experience I've had while traveling. I'm pretty thankful that I haven't had anything too distressing happen to me. Nothing intensely so. I don't know. I tend to also suppress some of the truly terrifying experiences, or just any really bad experiences that I have. So maybe I'm just like forgetting about it. But I have to say it's one of two things, both of which I've had this past summer. In Athens, in the subway, my dad was being pickpocketed, and it was like a lady and a guy working together. The lady was doing all the pickpocketing while the guy was covering her actions. And that was like a whoa, that was kind of freaky. Because, you know, you always hear about pickpockets, but for me at least, I've been pretty thankful that I've never come across them. Or more like that I've never had any problem with them, rather. Because I'm usually pretty mindful enough about my belongings. I'm especially a fan of having my items in my button pockets. So that's the thing. But just witnessing a pickpocketing was kind of a shocking, eye-opening experience. The other one would be when we got lost in our first night at Mykonos just because we missed a turn, and as a result we must have spent like a few hours in the dark just trying to find our way back, and that was an extremely unpleasant experience that when you look back on it, I'm still in awe like how much we just missed one turn and that caused all the mayhem, air quotes, that happened. But yeah, I'd say one of those two. I can't really think of any experience where I felt truly horrified. I got nothing. So yeah, those are 21 questions on travel, just to kind of give some closing thoughts. I don't know how often I'll do closing thoughts, but in closing, traveling is awesome. I'm really thankful that I got to experience so many distinct and wonderful places, particularly more so out of the country than within the country, although states have their perks. I greatly encourage anyone who has the opportunity to travel to do so, because you'll always get something new at minimum, and at most you'll get something absolutely great that will stick with you for many years to come. Those are 21 questions. That's the end of this episode. If you enjoyed the content, please be sure to follow the Silver and Scarlet's SoundCloud and just be watching all the podcast episodes, and also listen to some of the musical stuff if you're curious about some of the acoustic mashups that I've concocted throughout the years, as well as potentially I'll probably post some covers in the near future if enough people want me to. Again, comment or message me if you're interested in hearing that. So for now, hope you all have a great day. See you soon.